Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Defenders and Lab Codes. We have a very awesome guest visiting us today in the lab. And as a quick reminder for those who are joining us, we do like to promote collaborating to learn. Oh my goodness, it's been one of those very long work days. So I have my guest today, Evgeny, who is going to deep dive into some awesome topics that I'm very excited to share with you all. And as a reminder, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. So, Evgeny, if you don't mind, would you kind of talking about your passions and your background into this field?
Melissa, first of all, thank you for inviting me to the podcast. Very happy to be here today. I'll try to be short about my passion, what I do, because the list could be a big. So I've been in cybersecurity quite a long time, probably more than 25 years. Started in the Navy in Israel, worked at Checkpoint in Israel as well, quite a big cybersecurity vendor. Moved to Canada, work for a company called Horjovic Group. For any of you that watching Shark Tank in US, maybe know who's Robert Horjovic, the shark. I worked with Robert for 16.5 years, from a firewall engineer all the way to VP of architecture. And this means pretty much doing everything that's related to cybersecurity in MSSP and VAR, including deployment, including running a team, including doing a lot of technical pre-sales and kind of the dog and pony show, as we used to call them. On the passion part, I'm definitely passionate about speaking. It's
Yeah.
built slowly. Was a lot of. We're happy to talk about this part. It wasn't easy in the beginning. Still not easy sometimes. I'm really passionate about outdoor and extreme sports, and I actually was able to connect the two passions together. We'll talk about this a bit later. What else? Different sports, communication as well.
Yes. And it's funny that you mentioned Robert Herjavec. I too worked at a Robert Herjavec security company for just a few months before landing my job. So he had bought out, I'm from the Kansas City area, and he had bought out a company called Cybersecurity out in Kansas City. And so it's kind of cool. Security is a small world.
It's actually he bought a company called Fish Tech that merged together,
Fish
and then
tech and the
we
merchant
changed
into
it to
Cyderis,
theirs.
yes.
And I this is the time when I graduated, as I call it, before the full merge.
It's always cool to hear about like people's paths and then how sometimes they might cross with other ones. So that was kind of
Well,
cool. Thank you
yes.
for sharing. Now, I have to ask you, what is your favorite part about being in cybersecurity? I know we kind of talked about public speaking a little bit, and I'm also curious how you got into public speaking. But when you talk about cybersecurity, what is your favorite thing to talk about?
It's quite a not one question, a few questions, but we'll do one by one.
It's a loaded
So
question.
yes, the part I like about cybersecurity. So first of all, I'm a geek. Okay, so I like technology. So I think
Yes.
this why I like the hardware, the vendors, the integration. I am less favor of risk, compliance, and other things. Even so, right now in my current role, I have to deep there as well because it's a requirement when you do a lot of leadership work. But I mentioned because I'm a geek, because I like technology in general. So cybersecurity fell under technology. And where I'm going with this, I like the innovation part. Cybersecurity moves so fast. We always need to learn. We always learn something new. And this was I love about working in Horjovic Group because I had this opportunity to learn a lot, to be in front of the innovation. We spoke with many vendors, and I still do this as part of my podcast to understand what's happening, to understand what's going to be the main part next year, in 2 years, in 5 years. Definitely one of my favorite part about cybersecurity. And it's directly connected on a hip to the next part about public speaking. As a
Yes.
second time immigrant, when English is definitely not the first, not the second, third language, what I realized very quickly that not everybody really understands me when I'm speaking. And I used to speak and I used to speak very quickly, and I used to struggle, and I used to kind of eat the end of the sentence. So I was trying to
Mm,
figure out what is the best way to kind of expand and convey my ideas. And it happened naturally because I will talk about the firewall. I will talk about architecture. I will talk about how everything works together. And I was, and still, very passionate about the idea. And then I realized the more passion I put into my words, people are like, oh my God, there's no way this guy is so passionate about this architecture. It's probably true. So my passion overcame and helped me with, in a way, language barrier.
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
it's slowly kind of, okay, this is what's happening. People, and if you tap to psychology, to NLP, in many cases, it's not what we say, how we say it, not related
Yeah.
to cyber, definitely connected the two part about the communication. And then because I needed to communicate the very technological ideas and concepts, I started to use a lot of basically ways to explain this differently, like metaphors. So we'll talk about perimeter security. I'll talk about the house. Think about assets, like if you leave the house, how many windows you have in the house, because you need to make sure they're all closed. If you don't
Yep.
know how
Yep.
many you have, it's going to be hard to do it. Do you have doors? Do you have cameras? Do you have dogs? Do you have fences? Like so many different ways you
Yes.
can play with it. And people are like, oh, okay. So simplifying very technological ideas in a different language was kind of lesson number two, number three. And then in one point of my life, I was presenting to a CIO of a company and I was explaining why we need to upgrade the antivirus EDR to the new version and to the new system. And he's like I saw a smile on his face because he knew I know what I'm talking about. And he's like, Evgeny, from a business perspective, why do I need to have a new antivirus? And I'm like, um, uh, and he was just smiling, like, because he knew he got me. He's like, come back tomorrow and explain to me in a different language why my business should care to spend $500,000 of a new system. So this was like, oh, okay. It's not just simplification of the information. It's also to learn how to talk the business language because depend on the person I'm talking to, I need to explain the stuff they care about. C-level
Yeah.
board members don't care about if I choose CrowdStrike or Sentinel-1. They care about productivity, they care about their IP, they care about the brand, they care about people able to do their work and not impacting what's happening.
Yes.
This all relate to communication, and we have so many young, not so young boys and girls that are extremely smart.
Yes.
But when they start explaining what's happening, you're like, what are you talking about?
It's so true. Especially like, I always tell people when you've been in the field for so long, you kind of forget how to explain things back down to someone who has no idea what you're talking about.
Is it a common language? Apparently it's not a common language. Because
Yes.
yes, you're absolutely right. And it's take time. And let's think about this because we kind of tap into soft skills, a topic that I like as well. People
Yes.
like, oh, people cannot listen. Oh, people don't have any empathy. I'm like, wait a second. How you can have empathy or active listening if you don't even care? Like you need
Yeah.
to first turn the curiosity part to you care about the other person, the other problem. So almost like a Pandora box. So okay, we care, we curious. Now, when we're curious, we can do active listening. When we actively listening, then we can understand and actually listen what the other person is saying, and not just have our own kind of
Yep.
playlist playing without understanding what's happening. Then we can deploy empathy, and surprisingly, it's very important in cyber, not just in sales. It's important in support. It's
Yep.
important in customer success. It's important when you're solving a problem. And people just think, oh, I'm going to explain the same idea 5 times in the same language. People somehow magically will understand.
Yeah, and, like, it goes also a long way, at least from my experience, you might have had a different one, but when you start talking to people more in that senior leadership role, it's hard for them to relate why it's so important, and I feel like once you kinda start putting yourselves in their shoes and being a little empathetic as to, like, money, reputation, external like, how data looks externally, so a product, right? And, when you start talking about security, they're thinking, "Money, money, money, money." And you're just
And
like,
there is
"This is why we need an antivirus."
yes, and there are simple things that people can do, but they don't in many cases. So let's say you're trying to explain to something to you, and I see like a blank face, blank
Yep.
eyes. Instead of trying to do it again, I may stop and say, Renee, is there a better way to explain to you? Can you guide me, please? And if we
Mm,
are mature people, tell me, Evgeny, you know what? I'm actually a visual person. I'm an audio person. I want to touch this. Can you do a reference? Can you show me a picture? Can you show me a demo? Like if I'm asked you to guide me, I think
yeah,
you'll guide me. Why not? We both want to understand what's happening here. And this simple question. So, for example, a lot of the time when I present to a customer, I tell the customer, Mr. Customer, I know the material. You can stop me anytime you want. I'm here for you. So I'm giving them permission to and options to cut me off. It's
yeah,
become completely okay because I don't think there's something called rude. Rude is what we agree on. If we
yeah,
agree that we can cut each other off, it's not rude. If we didn't agree, then it's become rude. If I ask you, please don't cut me off, let me finish what I'm talking, it'll only take 7 minutes, I think it's fine as well. And when
yeah.
somebody else present to me, I can ask the same.
Mhm.
Renee, is it okay if I interrupt you? Now, when I cut you off, it's not rude anymore because you told me, okay, it's fine.
Yes. It's funny, you kinda said something, and I had a mentor, at some point in my career, it was after, like, 3 or 4 years in the field, and, I was trying to explain the CVE that had came out, and I was trying to explain what we need to do to patch, and my mentor was so patient with me, and, they took me to the side, and they were like, "Hey, you're at this point now in your field where you need to kind of think about how you talk." And I'm like, was I rude? Did I cut someone off? And they're like, no, no, it just when you talk, put yourself in the mindset like you're chewing bubble gum and that person's never chewed bubble gum before. And they're confused as to what bubble gum is. And I'm like, I was like, "You're telling me people in my meeting are, like, essentially like cavemen that never had bubble gum?" You know? And my mentor was like, "Yes, but"
Yes. And you're absolutely right because you don't know. If you're talking to someone, you can say, "Hey, I'm going to use a lot of technical terms here.
Yep.
If I'm talking gibberish to you, please stop
Yes.
me and ask me because people not going to ask and understand what's potentially this because you don't want to look stupid. But if you tell them, please stop me, or you can tell them, hey, I can go higher in the
Yep.
technology stack, or I can go low. Please guide me. If I'm too high, I can go lower. But I need you to tell me that I will meet your expectations because this meeting is for you. And
Yep.
it's work like a charm. If you just tell people what's going to happen and what you should expect, in majority of the cases, it will open up the doors and people are like, oh, okay, we can be dumb. We can ask questions. We can
Yep.
ask anything we want. Again, I'm not saying people are dumb. Don't get me wrong.
Only a few, no.
Mm, there's people that don't want to learn. There's people that
I
don't
would
want to get
agree, yes.
hints. And unfortunately, there's the other point of the people, part of the people, is they need to show how smart they are. And these
Yes.
people is sometimes very difficult because you're on a meeting and they don't care about the outcome of the meeting. They don't
Yep.
want to show you that that they are smarter than you. And guess what? There's probably hundreds of people that are smarter than you and me. And I don't think it's a problem. It's amazing. But the question is, what are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to show who is smarter, or we trying
Yep.
to have a common goal to help
Yep.
the company with cybersecurity?
Yeah, what problem are we trying to solve, essentially?
Yes.
That's how I value all of my meetings. Otherwise, I'm gonna have meetings all day to talk about the new
About a meeting,
yeah,
about
a
a meeting,
meeting about
about
a
a meeting.
meeting to talk about a meeting. So, I'm gonna kind of build a little bit about my previous question I had with you. Now, getting into public speaking, a lot of our listeners, they're not just Canada, United States, United Kingdom. In fact, we have a lot of listeners that are in Saudi Arabia or Egypt, scattered all over. If they're wanting to get more into public speaking, because a lot of conferences are in Europe or the United States, like Black Hat or DEF CON, and it can be kind of intimidating with those audiences. What is your advice or recommendation for people wanting to go into the speaking segment where English might not be their first language?
How many hours do you have?
Oh, you got 15 minutes left on the show.
Okay. So first of all, literally, I know we're recording this today, but it's going to be released in the future.
Yeah,
I was presenting about 2 months ago to a group of students, about 90 of them, out of, I think it was Brazil, and I realized they're really, really afraid to speak up because of the English part. Now, as an immigrant, I understand them. It is
right.
very, very hard. So, what it drove me to do, I actually created a very tiny training for about 1 hour about 13 models to help people being on interview and communicate better over Zoom, Teams, and Google. So, I definitely can share the link, and I made it very, very cheap just to cover the cost. So, I think it will help people tremendously. But beside this, I do want to share tips from the training and just in general as well. Okay, we're gonna divide it to a few different things because the main part you mentioned, I think, is the fear. They're afraid to do it. And actually, public speaking is the second phobia after death, surprisingly. Now, let me ask you a question. Is fear good or bad?
I feel like I don't know. I personally am okay being afraid of spiders, but I also I also like finding the challenges in my day to day.
So let's think about this. What is the favorite answer in cybersecurity? It depends.
Yes.
So it depends. So if you see a kitty cat on the street, you probably shouldn't be afraid most of the time. There are sometimes some crazy cats.
If it's
If you
foaming from
see
the mouth, I don't wanna
Yeah.
touch the cat. Yeah.
If if you see a lion on the street, I hope you're afraid. I hope you run away or whatever need to be done to not encounter
Yeah,
the lion. It's totally fine. So what I'm trying to say here, fear could be good, fear could be bad. Now, what is the difference between fear and excitement?
I
They are
feel like
very
that
close.
yeah, very close because it's the same adrenaline, endorphin
Yes.
almost, yes.
Yes, but the difference is with the excitement, we know the outcome, and with the fear, we don't know the outcome. If any of you that listen to us experience to have a child on a slide first time, they're going to be scared, 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 scared until
Yeah,
they go one time, and going to be again, 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 again for the next 55 hours. Why? Because they now experience this, they overcome the fear, and now it became excitement because they know the outcome. What if you give them a bigger slide? They're probably going to be scared again. Why? Because they never tried this. And what I'm getting with this, when you tell someone to present to one person, they're going to be okay. Two people may be okay. But the bigger the crowd, the bigger the stakes, then the fear kick in. If you guess where I'm going with this, can you translate fear to excitement? Can you
got it.
change the mental model of the idea that, oh my God, I'm actually not scared. I'm excited because it's bigger. I'm excited because it's more stakes. Now, part of the resolution of a problem is to understand the problem. So every time you present, you know you're going to be scared. Guess what? I'm also scared. I'm not scared when it's in 100, 200, but if it's 500, I am scared. But I already understand that I'm not really scared because I know what I'm doing and I'm learning my slide and I'm learning how to communicate. I am scared because I'm excited. It's a bigger opportunity. With all this comes a couple of other nuances. We definitely want to know the material we are talking about. The other part that's interesting is it's okay to make mistakes because sometimes when we start our career, we think we have to be flawless. But if you look on people out of, I don't know, Hollywood, we don't really associate to them. We don't think, oh my God, one day I will wake up and going to be Tom Cruise or Angelina Jolie. Not really. But if you hear someone present and they're making one or two mistakes in the presentation, like, okay, this person is human. I think one day I can present on the same level as they are. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
So what I'm getting with this, we shouldn't be stressing so much about making one or two mistakes in the presentation. With all this, you may say, but I'm still so freaking scared. I don't know what to do with myself. And I used to be one of those as well. So what if I can magically help you to reduce the stress for free? And one of the techniques is breathing. So
Yes.
day by day, we breathe about 12 to 20 breaths per minute. If we do something called box breathing, one of the techniques used in the US Navy, used in India as well, when we inhale for X amount of seconds, hold for X amount of seconds, exhale for X amount of seconds, hold, and I just start doing this already relaxed and kind of slow down because
Yeah.
I used to do it so much. So now, let's say if you do five every part, we're going to have 20 seconds per breath. We'll basically just move to 3 breaths per minute instead
Yeah.
of 12 or 15. Guess what's going to happen? Automatically, your heart rate will decrease as well. And if your heart rate is decreasing, your kind of fear will go down as well. Your anxiety will go down as well. Did you ever saw a person meditating under pressure? No, they're usually very relaxed.
You're right.
If you tap to free diving, it's an extreme sport where people need to force themselves to relax to consume less oxygen. So it's working. It's physics, like literally, and doesn't cost you anything. If you just start doing box breathing for not one time, do it for 3, 4 minutes,
Yeah.
you will see the effect. And you're gonna get to a point where if you do it every day, you will remember mentally the feeling you felt while doing box breathing. So I used to do box breathing every time I need to present. I'll go to a washroom, sit down, and just do the box breathing to normal themselves down. There's also like physiological exercise you can do. Now, how it's helping? By decreasing the fear and anxiety, we also opening up something I call focus point.
Yeah.
Because when you present, you need to pay attention to your speech, to your rate, to your people that you're watching, to the slides, to how you breathe. If I need to also focus on
Mhm.
being scared, I'm taking away focus point from there. So
Yes.
by removing the fear, by removing not the fear, the anxiety part, I'm opening up my CPU, being a geeks, and I have a watchdog right now to watch everything else. And as a bonus, I now can watch my filler words and then
Yes.
say, "Hi, I'm Evgeny. Today we'll talk about AI. To replace them with pauses. Hi, I'm
Mhm.
Evgeny. Today we'll talk about soft skills and AI and how they work together. It's a
Yeah.
very crash course in 3 minutes. What you can do. It works like a charm.
And I could absolutely attest to that because I do box breathing before any of my events. And even I teach college at night, and even like before I go and teach my students, which is low stress, right? I still do box breathing because it slows me down because I get so caught up in my speech and what I'm talking about, and then I'm like, "Oh, I just blew through that in 5 minutes." But yeah. Oh, and one thing I know we're kinda getting up there in time, and I definitely wanted to highlight this. Tell us about your book.
So the book is part of what you just described for the last 5, 6, 7 minutes. The inspiration for the book came from one, watching multiple vendors present and how they just repeat the same process. Two, the change in sales engineering and sales. Three, that we now sell and communicate on Zoom, Google Meets, Teams. All this inspired to write a book about soft skills. It's called about technical sales, but in reality, half of the book applicable to everyone. So this is a
Oh,
very short presentation about the book. It has 14 chapters. Some of the chapters which we discuss about fear, about box breathing, about how to be present, about how to overcome burnout as well. Not a very big book. The book is 3 hours in audio and 130 pages in paper.
yes, and just, like, even talking to you and obviously internet creeping on your website, um, these what you highlight in your book are crucial skills, crucial key points that, in my opinion, we get so caught up in, like, the day-to-day technical, "Oh, I gotta learn about AI, I gotta learn about, this type of vulnerability or this skill," like, it's just the soft skill part is so much needed, just as much as these technical skills. And these soft skills, that's what's going to help you ace your interview. That's what's going to have you have these difficult conversations, or even just be comfortable talking to people, whether it's public speaking or, hey, boss, I'm not happy with my job right now. And yeah,
So what you just tell is basically we all in sales. I'm not happy with my job. I
yes,
want another screen. I have this amazing idea using AI.
yeah.
You what guess? You pitching your idea to your boss. You're trying to sell an idea. So when we say we're not in sales, we are all in sales.
It yes. We have to be comfortable communicating, and it's such a well needed topic in this area. So,
I'm
my
gonna
next oh,
I'm gonna
yeah, go
interrupt
for
there
it.
for a second. You just say it's comfortable. So one small advice that I would like to give to all of us here is
Yes.
learn being comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
Yes. I like that. I'm gonna have to quote that out, like, when I do edits.
Sounds good.
And I guess, as we're kinda nearing towards our time, I always like to end it on a few questions, but before I ask you the closing questions, I got one more. What do you have in plan for the future?
Oh my God. So first of all, I mentioned that I was able to connect my hobbies to my work. This was the idea of the book to check soft skills. We were able to, me and a bunch of friends, to create a conference called Ski and Snowboard Conference and Cybersecurity. And the
Wow.
idea is it's a networking event where absolutely soft skills work to the maximum because you don't need to introduce yourself. Everybody can talk to everyone. We've been doing this for the third year. So depending when it's going to be out, February 27th is our third year to do it. About 250 people near to Toronto area in Canada. So this is one part that on my mind. Second part of my mind is actually going to be another book, and I realize I need to change. It's going to be similar topic, but the focus will be different, and it's going to be soft skills for immigrants and technology. Maybe not exactly the same name, but I realized we that came to US, to Canada, and moved, we have a bit of a different challenges. And it's not always easy to explain to the Native American Canadian why we have certain challenges. Some of them we discussed today about them. So this is another part. Beside this, evangelisms and give back to society where I can.
S Yeah, and I also, I'm kinda, like, making mental notes as you're talking and everything, and one of the things that, we do, at least on my side of the house, we have a lab library, and it's gonna be a new feature that's or I guess hopefully by the time this podcast episode gets released, it's already published. We like to promote, like, different books, whether it's, like, building leadership or having difficult conversations, and if you're okay with it, I'm most likely gonna probably link your book to our page as well
Yes.
because I'm over here also kinda, like, creeping on the on the book page as
I'm
well.
happy to have you doing this. I don't think any author would not want somebody to promote their book. So definitely thank you for doing that.
It's great. And then, as we kinda wrap up time, I got 2 questions. They are gonna be the most difficult questions you probably have ever had in any podcast interview. I know. The first one is, if people wanna reach out to you, what's a good contact
Thanks
information?
God to my very complicated name. If you go to LinkedIn and type Evgeny Kharam, Evgeny Kharam, I promise you I'm the only Evgeny there on LinkedIn in cybersecurity, so feel free to connect. There's other Evgenys that spell it differently, but Kharam definitely the only one. This is probably the easiest way to find and connect to me. Definitely the website for the book, softskillstag.ca, softskillstag.com.
Okay, awesome. And then the very last question might be slightly more difficult than this one. I always like to end on closing advice. So, what advice do you have for our listeners? And this can be about how to not pet stray cats in the street, or it can be it can be what's your favorite menu item off of McDonald's. I know we talked about that, or it could just be general career advice. The the
I
last
already,
minute
I,
of
I
how
already gave one about learn how to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. So this is
yes.
going to be the advice. But I want to add that is don't be afraid to step out of the comfort zone a bit, tiny, step by step. And ideally, have a mentor, have a friend where you can go and talk, about able to sometimes provide empathy and sometimes maybe have a kick, and tell you, go do your work.
Oh, I like it. It's so great. Great advice.
Thank you.
So, thank you again for joining us in the lab. It has been such a delight. So wonderful to have you. We might have to bring you back another time, and
Always happy to come back.
absolutely, maybe talk about stray dogs instead of stray cats on the next time.
I have two cats. I have call them cyber cats. So we can do
Oh,
different cobalt cyber cats.
script kitties, right?
Cyber cats. So,
Well, thank you so much. And thank you again for joining us in the lab. And if you are listening in, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. All of the information and details, including contact information, is located below in the description. So thank you all again. And thank you for collaborating to learn today. We'll catch you guys again soon.
see you soon.
Bye.